U.S. President Donald Trump said U.S. forces could end operations in Iran very soon, pointing to a possible timeline of 2 to 3 weeks as his administration continued talks with Iranian authorities while maintaining its aerial campaign.
Speaking at a White House event, Trump linked the timeline to rising fuel prices since the war began on February 8th, saying that once U.S. forces leave, conditions in Iran would rapidly deteriorate. He added that the withdrawal could come within about 2 weeks, possibly just days later, as operations near completion. At the same time, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel would continue its military campaign against Tehran, declaring that the effort to crush what he described as Iran's regime is not over. His remarks came shortly after Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian said Iran has the necessary will to end the war with Iran and the United States, but is seeking guarantees to prevent the conflict from reoccurring, adding that Iran has remained steadfast and changed the face of the Middle East, while asserting that Israel has emerged as a regional power despite the ongoing war. Pezeshkian reiterated that Iran is prepared to end the conflict, but only if essential conditions are met. In response to a 15-point U.S. proposal last week, Tehran has put forward a 5-point counter-proposal calling for an end to what it described as aggression and the creation of mechanisms to ensure that neither Israel nor the United States would return to war. Concerns are also mounting beyond Iran, with UNA Chief Tom Fletcher warning that southern Lebanon could become another occupied territory in the Middle East following renewed Israeli threats to seize the area after its war with Hezbollah. Addressing the UN Security Council, Fletcher said the fighting has already displaced 1.1 million people and draw parallels to Gaza, asking how civilians would be protected and how the international community should prepare for the possibility of another occupied territory. Earlier Tuesday, the Israeli Defense Ministry said the military would occupy the swath of southern Lebanon even after the end of the war against Hezbollah. The ministry's statement was not the first Israeli declaration signaling an intention to occupy parts of the south, but it was the clearest since the Middle East war spread to Lebanon on March 2nd. Meanwhile, Qatar said Gulf states are united in calling for de-escalation. Countries in the Gulf have faced repeated drone and missile attacks over the past month, with Iran targeting hydrocarbon infrastructure while effectively closing the Strait of Hormuz, a strategic waterway through which about 20% of global oil supplies typically pass. The violence was also evident in Beirut, where a strike hit a building adjacent to the main airport road on Tuesday after Israel warned it would target a Hezbollah facility. Live footage showed plumes of smoke rising from the site on the edge of the southern suburbs, while video circulating online shows a missile striking the upper floors of the building and debris scattering across the airport road, which was later closed by security forces following the warning.